Shalom and good evening from Jerusalem. Jane, I'm just jumping on tonight to give you a 5-minute update about two major things that happened here in Israel today. At the same time this morning around 9:30, there were protesters in the streets for Netanyahu, against Netanyahu. They were down at the district court in Jerusalem where the prime minister was in the court. As you probably know, there are 3 cases against him, and today began the opening with the witnesses being brought in to testify against him. So Netanyahu had to be there for the chief prosecutor when she gave her opening statement, and she actually said that he abused his power to get good coverage for some of the biggest news outlets here in Israel. I can make a whole video speaking about that later on. It's a huge trial. This will literally go on for years and years. So outside the court, there were pro-Netanyahu protesters, against Netanyahu protesters, and at the same time, in the president's house, also people protesting for him and against him, because today was the day where all the different parties were sending representatives to the president's house to recommend who they think should try and form the next coalition, who they would recommend as prime minister. So while Netanyahu was in court, representative of his party was sitting with the president saying, we would like to recommend Benjamin Netanyahu for president. As you all know, this is the 4th election in 2 years. It is absolutely unheard of, and nothing has really changed, because as of now, Netanyahu and the right-wing camp, the people who have said they want to support him, only has 52 mandates. You need at least 61. Yair Lapid and the different parties who has recommended him, as of this time, 45. And then, surprise, surprise, all eyes were on Naftali Bennett and his Yamina party. All eyes was on Gideon Saar and his New Hope party, because they are what is called right-wing. But Gideon Saar had said, I am not recommending Benjamin Netanyahu. Naftali Bennett had said on the other side, I am not recommending Yair Lapid. So everybody was kind of like, what is going to happen today? So for the big shock, Gideon Saar decided not to recommend anyone. So that is 6 votes that's set aside. Shocker, shocker. Naftali Bennett and his Yamina party decided we're going to recommend ourselves. We're going to recommend Bennett as prime minister. So there you have it. Nobody has the 61 mandates it takes in order to form a coalition. The 2 Arab fractions, the Joint Arab List, as always, they didn't recommend anyone, and the Arab Party RAM, who broke aside, also not recommended anyone. So there you have it. Benjamin Netanyahu still only have 52, and he's going to need 61 to make a coalition. The same for Yair Lapid. So what happened now is that the president here in Israel, he's going to retreat, and he's going to look at this, and he is frustrated. He was speaking with big, bold words when he was talking to the representative of the different parties. So he actually has to decide who he is going to give the mandate to try and form a coalition. Most likely it will be Benjamin Netanyahu. And the way it looks now, he's going to have to, there's going to be some tough negotiations going on right now in order for him to secure that mandate. He's going to have 28 days. If he doesn't succeed, the mandate goes back to the president, and then he has to decide if he wants to try and give it to either Yair Lapid or Naftali Bennett, and then that person will get 28 days to try and form a government. If that doesn't succeed, he can give it back to Knesset for anyone to try and form a government. That has happened before. So I'm telling you, all the balls are up in the air right now. And they kind of anticipated that this was going to happen. So there are going to be major negotiation going back and forth. Of course, Netanyahu is going to try and see if he can find someone who's going to jump ship from some of the other parties and saying, you know what, we are going to get a good deal. You know, I'm going to be a minister if I join Likud, and Netanyahu can secure. But we don't know until the president, it could be tomorrow, no later than Wednesday, is he going to come out and invite the person he thinks should have the first go as trying to make a coalition. So there's a lot going on. So all of this is going on while Netanyahu started. He is in court. So there you have it, a short update on what happened here today. Everything is up in the air when it comes to politics. Like I always say, please pray for the right person to be the leader of the Holy Land. And thank you everybody around the world who is standing in the gap for Israel for such a time as this. God bless Israel and all of our friends, which means all of you around the world. Bye.